What a beautiful morning. What a beautiful morning. It's Taco Tuesday. Everyone, what is going on? This is Jordan with Conquer Trading and Investing. So grateful to be here with you all. You guys bring the light. You guys bring the sunshine. You really know how to lift up a room. And I'm grateful for that each and every day, working here together with you, trying to achieve, achieving great things on the right time preference. It's what we do here. We change lives. Thanks for being a part of this. Thanks for making this so special. Before we even get started, I have to thank all the moderators. You are absolutely godsend. You have made this community just so smooth. I just cannot thank you enough from the bottom of my heart, each and every one of you. All right, everyone. What are we looking at today? We have a topic. That's right, Kenneth. Thanks for being such an important part of this. Every morning, once I get settled, there's a lot to get going to make sure the show runs smoothly. A lot of preparation. It comes down to the last minute, even why the song is playing over here. And when I get to check in all the comments, when I'm adding them to the stream, it's because I'm reading them. They're all so important to me. They set the tone for what this group is. So I thank each and every one of you. Each and every one of you is essential, and I'm grateful for it. We just lost our view. Let me go ahead and clean that up over here together. Hold on one second. There we go, folks. All right, a little unresponsive responsiveness. We're clean and set to go. Let's launch this thing, everyone. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're not, welcome back. Thanks for smashing the like button and getting us going this morning, getting the flow going over here so we can take a look at these markets. Make sure that we're well situated, that we have that situated awareness, that we're just dialed in. We need to be the most dialed in people across the markets, more so than anywhere else. It's what we do, and it's how we do it, right? We're looking at Bitcoin this morning, trading at $49,000. Beautiful. Down 1% on the session. And you can see over here, Ethereum, unchanged, slightly bid. Ethereum, Bitcoin, right? Coming into the resistance here, looking for a possible breakout if it could get going here above this slight bit of local resistance and that trend line resistance over there. Cardano hanging in there pretty well. Yeah, it's off a little bit, right? But they just launched their mainnet. I have to say, yesterday, I haven't heard anything about it. If you guys heard anything, please comment. Greg, what's going on? Speaking of just uber importance here, each and every one of you is just, thank you. If anyone had any update, whether or not that jump to the mainnet, that jump to hyperspace was successful, I haven't heard anything. Please let me know. I'm looking at price and price alone, and I could see, even though it's off 5%, was off maybe 5% yesterday, it looks extremely healthy. It's too soon to say that it's made it out of here without any type of hiccup. And a hiccup would be, right, could we sell off all the way towards this 90-cent level? Yeah. What kind of pullback is that be? Will that be? That's a 38% pullback. That's in line with crypto, altcoins during this bull market phase. So if it doesn't, I just have to say, wow, and clap the hands. And then I don't know. I defer to Brandon on Crypto Trades and Tech, who's riding that trade hard and strong to what will be next and what type of price targets we're looking at over here. London call-in. London call-in. We got you over here. We got you over here, London. Right? So listen, big shout out. I've been with you now for well over a year, of course. I'm aware of each and every one of you, always. You are all very important to me. You are special to me, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for being such an important part of all this over here, right? So I want to take actually a look at the equity markets. We're going to talk about the question of the title over here, right? Obviously, we see Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all of crypto looking very, very bullish right now. Some people are like, Jordan, what's going on with Bitcoin? It was trading at $58,000 and now it's trading at $49,000. I mean, I can't imagine what it's going to be like when we're seeing numbers print like 160,000 and then we have like a 30% correction and we're trading all the way back down to like 120,000. People are going to lose their minds, right? Because they're not thinking in percentage terms. This over here is nothing. I'm thinking over here, well, you know, I remember just before the halving, going into the halving, coming off the crisis when everyone was like shock and awed and everyone figuring out what's next and me trying to walk everyone through it. And, you know, Bitcoin 9,000, but Bitcoin's $49,000 and hardly any time has passed. Not even 12 months has passed. So when you're saying, oh, what happened to Bitcoin at 58,000? Give it some time, right? We believe that within the next, you know, at maximum 21 to 50 days, we'll be at that new all-time high. Could it happen sooner? Of course. Right now, we're looking at roughly a 16, 70 cent pullback from the all-time high over here. Looks tasty, looks good. What are we seeing? We're seeing the breakout over here. Some people are saying, oh, we see a head and shoulders. Stop looking for head and shoulders, folks. So this is everything we need to talk about is coming up because it needs to be talked about. So we're going to talk about it all. Danny, thank you so much. That was a huge milestone. Thank you so much. 80,000 subscribers. It was done, I guess, in about, you know, a little over a year. It's truly phenomenal. Grateful for it, you know? Absolutely beautiful. God is good. So, look, if this was a head and shoulders, where's the neckline, right? So I would have a trend line right around here, right? There's my trend line if this was a head and shoulder pattern. Oh, let me fix that. That wasn't a trend line. That was a little bit of an instrument to give me an idea of how far the pullback is. Here's my neckline if this is a head and shoulders over here, because that's definitely where my trend line goes. You're waiting for the break of the trend line. I mean, if you're looking for a head and shoulders right now and people are like, oh yeah, it's unfolding. What? No, you're doing it wrong. There's no head and shoulders over here. If you're playing something like that, and what is the pullback into that trend line over there, which I won't even have in my chart, that's about a 38%. Oh, you're looking for a break of a head and shoulders at 30% off the all-time high in the bull market phase. Where would that take you down? That would take you down like, I don't know, below 30,000. Really? Anyway, I don't know what we just got lost over there. We shouldn't even be focusing on head and shoulders. What we're focusing on is strong TA, and that's this consolidation on the pullback over here. We've now broken back above. We're now resetting ourselves. If we come in and start making new swing highs over here, like I said all of last week, because of the degree, the angle of this pullback over here, we could shoot up pretty quickly, and I still expect that's in play. All right, so what else? This is a good comment over here by Steve Burns. It's at @SJosephBurns on Twitter. Some of the best trading is boring because there's not much to do when you're letting your winners run. Major key over here about letting your winners run. As far as the best trading being boring, listen, I think what we do here every day is uber exciting. We're doing all of our analysis over here. We're focused across all the markets to make sure that we're able to let our winner run for as long as it's supposed to run. I find it fascinating. I'm passionate about it. I love doing it, and I love sharing it with you all. There's nothing boring about it, but the key takeaway of that is letting your winners run. Look over here before we get into, that's a good question that was asked late in the session yesterday. What's going to happen with the $1.9 trillion stimulus package, right? It was approved by the House and sent to the Senate. If it gets approved in the upcoming weeks, what impacts in the short term do you foresee in Bitcoin, S&P 500, and the DXY? Excellent question, right? So let's answer that over here. As far as the equity markets, let's take a look at them first and answer that question in relation to that. We're looking here at the 8-hour on the S&P 500. I want you to notice after that false break, remember we were smacked back down? I remember, right? We've broken above this trend line again, have come in and retested it, and are now resuming off of that. We're getting ready to resume off of it. I don't know. We haven't yet made a higher high, but we're awfully close to it, right? Now, there's one thing I want to point out over here, and I just want to clone this line over here and put it over here because you can see there's also resistance developing like that now, right? That's clear. It's fuzzy. It's not so clean, and we have to watch out for it. So I'm going to leave this line in there right now. All of you following know why I'm doing that and what we're watching. Break above there? Yeah. Do I think QE, do I think this stimulus package is priced in? Do I think the Fed's continued QE purchases are priced in? Do I think that the Treasury's unleashing of the 1.1 trillion, these numbers we say, I don't think we could fathom how much they are, $1 trillion? Yeah, I think the market has that all priced in, and I think that's why we're seeing the S&P's trading right here at 3,900. It seems appropriate to me. Now the question on my mind, and remember, as we're pulling back, when we look at the Nasdaq for you really quick over here, the Nasdaq is the fuzziest of them all. All right, so we'll come back to the Nasdaq in 1 minute. Here's a look at the Dow. I mean, everything looking bullish. All I could say is the Russell has the same thing going on as the S&P, where we have to clone this line and add this double resistance that's coming right over there. All right, that's what's clear to me. The Dow is bullish, right? Remember the Dow over here when it wasn't pulled back, it was just consolidating sideways, and then when the markets went bullish right over here on this false break right there, the Dow just exploded to the upside. But then since came back, tested the support over here. Look at that. Look how these magic lines are always magical. Resumption off right there, conquering the markets all day long, but it's not attractive or interesting. I'm just saying that the Dow looks good. Everyone knows going back early into 2020 that for me, a key signal in the equity markets is seeing all indexes in unison making new all-time highs together. That's bullish. When the Nasdaq's making new all-time highs and the Dow is lagging by a great degree, that's a little bit worrisome. All right, so everything is kind of doing its thing. The Nasdaq has had a huge bump off this low over here, off the support. That support has been there for how long? Look how important it is. Look how much it is in play. But we're just up into no man's land. Where my mouse is, I see some resistance. It's light resistance. That's where we are. Instead of having a diagonal line, I think it's more appropriate right over there to put a local resistance line like that. Get above that. She's looking super, super bullish. Same thing with the S&Ps, getting above there, super bullish, as well as across the board. Do I think that the market's focused in right now on the coming stimulus? Or is that stimulus going to ignite possibly higher yields, which could put pressure on the market? It's an ongoing puzzle that we continue as it happens to be hyper aware of, because it's something that could affect the most important trade that matters. So we'll watch it all. But right now, we are letting that winner, like business as usual. I don't see anything yet. And you know that I'm looking for it always and aware of it. I don't see anything right now that could disrupt what we see right now taking place. That's a bullish crypto market. It's bullish Bitcoin, bullish Ethereum. And then, of course, let's go over here to this important tweet over here. This is from Lewis Thomas. He's saying, here's how I feel about the crypto market right now. Bitcoin is bullish and healthy. Yes, check. Ethereum, healthy and bullish. Check. What? But Jordan, Ethereum just came down to 1,300, right? Below 1,300 after printing 2,000. Yeah. So where was Ethereum a year ago? You know, Ethereum a year ago was trading at $100. It's up 15x. Yeah. So, but Jordan was up 20x. I mean, listen, guys, take a step back. You have to change your time preference. Take a step back. By the way, Ethereum, let me just take a quick tangent before I get back into that tweet we're focusing on over here. And you can see over here this beautiful break, right? And then you could see just like Bitcoin put in that one down bar and now looking to resume up over here. Again, because of the angle over here, I'm expecting the snap up could be just as aggressive to the upside. All right. Thank you, Anthony. I'm so glad that you're here with us. I am so glad that you're here with us. I want to go back, and I was talking about this tweet over here. He said DeFi, right? Because DeFi over here, this all season is really about DeFi. Whether you're talking about Uniswap, whether you're talking about DOT, now Cardano, possibly. I don't know that it is or that it isn't, right? We have these Aave. We have these DeFi projects that are leading this all season with good reason. DeFi is the future. So he's saying, look, it looks bubbly in parts, but best projects still bullish. And this is how it's gonna be, in my opinion, for the rest of the alt season, right? So until Bitcoin peaks, this is what we're looking at, in my opinion, right? NFTs, full bubble, beware. That's probably like if you're following NFTs, which I'm not. I don't know. I'm aware from afar. What is it? Digital art? I don't even know what it is. You know what? You should probably be aware. I have no idea. Is that something you, I mean, do you collect watches? I don't. You know, Bitcoin and Ethereum will likely begin to bubble second quarter 2021 to the third quarter 2021. Not bad, Lewis. You're almost extremely well. You're right there. You're right there. Now, in the last Conquering the Markets training video on Friday, this past Friday, right? Available on the recommended Conquering the Market playlist to all Conquering the Markets those in the training program. We talked about the exact date we're looking at this summer where we're going to expect the bubble to begin. Right now, Bitcoin is not in a bubble. Right now, Ethereum is not in a bubble. Right now, crypto is not in a bubble. Actually, it's trading under what I believe the bear market price will be. It's not even close to being in a bubble. It's bullish. And it's going to be in a bubble. It's going to be in a massive bubble. And I have no idea where that bubble ends. I have a strong idea down almost to the exact date of when that bubble is going to begin. That vertical move up. I don't have it on me. I would love to see it right over there. When I'm talking about this vertical move over here, refresh. When I'm talking about this vertical move over there, right? Because price isn't yet going vertical. That's important to understand when that's going to unfold, right? If you can know when you expect that move to then begin, you are ahead of the game. Because even though Lewis is pretty well on point over here, and he's got a pretty good guess a little early, right there. He's almost right on time. That's pretty good. I have to say that. A couple of things. Someone mentioned that Jordan. Here we go. We could go to notifications to find that out. It's on that thread right there. That Jordan believes. Oh, here. Boom. Jordan believes is calling for a top around September. So just let me, because everyone, we're all together. We're all family. We're all a team. We're all working together. I want to make sure everyone is very clear. Is extraordinarily clear right over here. When I say that I'm looking for or calling a top around September, I'm looking for the top, the earliest at the end of September, September 21st. Wherever and whenever it is, I will see. I'll be looking to exit the top of it. I don't know that it's going to occur in September. I know it's not going to occur before September. I know it's not going to. Do I think it's going to occur in December? Because if you look at the past two bull market cycles, they both peaked in December, right? So do I think that? No, I don't think so. Is it possible? Yep, it's possible. I don't think so. Now, this January, what did we see happen in Bitcoin? Everyone's like, Chinese New Year, we're going to see a huge sell-off in Bitcoin. I was like, I don't think so. What did Bitcoin do? $19,000 to $40,000 in like 20 days. All right, so just be careful, or don't be careful. Have that situational awareness. But I just want everyone to be very clear. I'm not calling a top in September. I am looking that's when I'm looking for the exit door. I'll be following what's going on with you every day, and I'll be articulating what's going on, helping me make all those decisions, so that either it could help you make the same decision, or you could say, well, I see what he's saying and I don't see it, and I'm going to continue to hold because this might be a super cycle, because it sure feels like it. And if you think it feels like it now, wait until we get to the top and everyone's talking about $1 million Bitcoin and you're seeing Bitcoin moving up tens of thousands of dollars a day. The FOMO is going to be real, which is why I'm mentally preparing you right now for everything that's going on, right? So anyway, Lemmy, speaking of heroes, Lemmy, thank you so much for all that you do, for all that you add to conquering the markets, including offering your time and talents, helping moderate and keep this thing smooth. Thank you, Lemmy. He shared this with me, and I've been meaning to share it with you multiple times. Look, this is really cool. The time to reach a $1 trillion market cap for Bitcoin, it took 12 years. Google took 21 years. That's pretty quick, right? Amazon, 24 years. Apple, 42 years. Microsoft, 44. It's mind-blowing. Now, I have to say, and the one thing I have, like the velocity of money continues to increase rapidly. What Bitcoin did is absolutely uniquely special. There's no question about that. Now, if Bitcoin was launched, let's say, in 2000, when Amazon, right around the time of Amazon, do I think that Bitcoin would have made it in 12 years? I do not. I do not at all. Just think about, you're looking at right now. What was the world's richest man back in the year 2000? How many billions did he have? Right now, we're looking at, almost $200 billion for Jeff Bezos. And that was after giving away half his fortune last year to his wife in the divorce. So, money, the velocity of money's continue to change. Nevertheless, it's an enormous feat. And we're not stopping at $1 trillion, this bull market over here. What we're targeting, I have no idea. Is it going to be 4 or 5 trillion? I have no idea, but we're going to find out. That's for sure. This is a chart of silver. We need to talk about gold and silver this morning over here. This was the same people that are in disbelief as a unicorn, that's for sure. Listen, this trend line was shared over here by Eric. This is silver stepping back on the daily time frame, and you can see as right now, I think this is really important to share with all of you. Thank you for sharing it with me, Eric. Thank you so much. Why? Anyway, I'm sorry, I got distracted. I wish I could get these comments off. I got distracted a little bit over there by some nonsense. Moderators, thank you for keeping this thing flowing beautifully. Who says I don't like Monero? There's one thing I genuinely don't like is when people put words in my mouth. I sincerely do not like that at all. I have Monero on my list, right? I actually like Monero. I have Monero. I wouldn't invest in it, but I track it because it has a good use case, and that's privacy. By the way, we just looked at some country over the last 24 hours outlawing privacy coins, getting way for their digital currency. Interesting. I wouldn't invest in it. I like it a lot, and I've been tracking it for over a year now with all of you. All right? So, but anyway, I don't want to get into that. I want to get into important stuff over here. That's this trend line over here on silver. You can see it. It gives a lot of clarity to what's going on. Let's look at silver right now on real time on the 8-hour time frame. Let me jump down over here. Silver having trouble or barely holding the 26 support over here. You can see that it closed right at it. And then I was trying to bounce off it, not yet making a higher high. If silver makes a higher high over here, is this an entry point? It's definitely a conquering the markets entry, right? Coming off the retest of the support, right over here, 26, and then resuming off it. It's definitely an entry. You could definitely cap your risk, right? What is that going in just into this area of resistance? And that's not where you're retargeting or taking any profit. That's greater than the 1.5 to 1. Which I would take a 1-to-1 risk to reward going into the trade all day long, because as you get into that resistance area, you'd be moving your stop loss to break even, greatly improving your overall risk to reward on the trade, which by the way would ultimately be, I have no idea, because you're trying to break over here the yearly high at 30, the 2020 high just below that, right? And then we have the next resistance above us at 35. Is Wall Street Bets right now getting hyper aggressive on the silver trade? Raising funds to put up billboards. I mean, is that going to go anywhere? Do you think a few billboards are going to, what? I mean, the power's in the internet. Moving to billboards, because people are like, everyone's commuting. Everyone's not on lockdown right now, right? I mean, I guess the heart's in the right place. Do not get into this trade if it's simply because of some Wall Street bets narrative. Get into this trade or be in this trade because you understand gold and silver. I myself love precious metals and have for a long, long, long time and will continue to do so. As I exit the Bitcoin trade, I will be looking to exit into physical gold, right? And how and where I do that and things like that, whatever. There's a beautiful video shared a few weeks ago on our weekly Conquering the Markets training program about exiting Bitcoin, what I'm exiting into, how I'm exiting into, and why. It is a must watch. Actually, you should watch it again. Yeah, it's symbolic. That's what I'm saying. Understand it. It is symbolic and it's nice. I just don't want people to get caught up in hype right now. What I mean is like, oh, Wall Street Bets is on the move. I have no idea what they're doing, to be honest. It's my humble opinion that they could sway. You know, they don't have much pull. How about that? Now, do I think that the holders out there, the gold bugs, the silver bugs, the silver surfers, do I think they have much more pull? Yeah. These guys are stackers and holders, and they know what's up, and they've been at the game for many, many years, myself included, right? Am I trying to play a momentum game stock trade? Never do that. That's not how you set this up. Looking from Conquering the Market standpoint, though, what we're looking at is, and everyone's aware of this, this is, first of all, a beautiful, beautiful bull market we're in silver right now. We have uber easy monetary conditions. Are rates suppressing the price a little bit right now? Yeah. Do I think that if rates become a problem, that the Fed's going to step in and fix that problem? Yes. If that happens, do I think gold and silver are really going to get going? Yes. That would be signal to me. Way more priority than Wall Street Bets or something like that. That's something to pay attention to. That's the type of macro that we focus in on over here. Nevertheless, following price and price alone, we love this type of thing. Bull market over here, beautiful consolidation, breakout, right? Retest, resumption, looking good, looking awesome. Holding this 26 over here, resuming off. I love it. I absolutely love it. And I love that you could at this point cap your risk really tight. You're risking whatever you're risking, by the way, whether you have your stop this close to market or if you have the stop all the way down under the support over here around 24. Is it fair to say that if silver were to trade under the support over here at 24.32, there's a big problem in the market? I think so. I do think that we would be going lower. Is it possible that we're seeing the 10-year, the yield rising, up towards 2%? Could be, watch out. It's an ongoing, evolving situation. That's why when you take the trade, you know where your stop loss is, you know what you're risking, and if you have to respect your trade and your stops at all times. So that's silver, and we'll just take a quick peek at gold over here, right? I love it. So, Robert, what's going on? Simon, beautiful to see you over here this morning. Everyone. Gold is right now, by the way, gold is right. We were looking at this on Friday, looking for a breakdown over here and a capitulation on gold. It's too soon to call it a capitulation because if it's a capitulation, this is going to be the bottom. For that to happen, we have to repair, at least get back above this trend line over here, right? At least back above 1750 area over here to say, all right, it looks like this was the capitulation that we were looking out for. But ahead of time, in real time, right? I shared with all of you, look, it looks like what's happening on gold is that it's going to, right over here, break the support and see a massive capitulation. It's exactly what's happening right now. Would you buy that? No. Does silver look more bullish? Excuse my Mexican influence over here. Más bueno? Sí. Busca más mejor. Yeah, so it looks much, much better over there. Nevertheless, I want to continue tracking what's going on gold over here. It's very important to me. As gold breaks out above this upper trend line resistance, above this 1815, it's going to look a lot more attractive, right? I have a lot more momentum, a lot more technical signals. Right now, it's under pressure. We'll continue watching it over here. Not trying to call a bottom, but it very well could be a capitulation bottom occurring right now on gold. We'll continue tracking it. There's no trade. There is a trade possible setup right here for those that are interested occurring right now on silver. There's the one not occurring on gold right now. And that's because as we continue to watch, we do expect in this current monetary climate for silver to continue to outperform gold, right? And you can see that on the charts. The DXY, what's going on with it? So gold and silver, I think we answered the question as far as what I expect QE to do. Oh, by the way, we were talking yesterday about that platform. Bri Bull is calling it a hambling platform, where like if someone was like, whatever, we talked about it yesterday. Everyone knows exactly what I'm talking about. Would it be fair to you for having the idea? You know, what would be fair to you for having the idea? Like, look, if you like the idea, go ahead and build it. You don't owe me anything for the idea whatsoever. I would just love to use the product. Yeah. So, but thank you for being absolutely like, please, if you like the idea and if you're passionate about it, go build it. That's awesome. We'd love that. Good morning, CTM. Boom, Jordan, or good morning or evening, wherever you are in the world. Just found here, and this is another world of information here. I'm impressed with what you do, Jordan. Just saying thank you. Smashing the like button just doesn't seem to be enough. Thank you for taking the time, first of all, to let me know that. I mean, I am grateful for that. It really, really, it means a lot to me. And I'm so glad to share it with all of you. Smashing the like button, yeah, it might not seem like a lot. I'm grateful for it. It does help this channel enormously. It helps other people discover what we're doing over here. I do believe that those people that are able to kind of plug into who we are and what we're doing and have that growth mindset, change their time preference, are going to see the success that an enormous percentage of all of us are seeing. And that's important to me. So thank you very much. That's beautiful and that's awesome. Also over here, this just came across me, my private messages yesterday. I don't get to check even let's say a small percentage of them on Twitter, but the ones that I do, you know. Anyway, November 17th, this is a few months ago, the person was inquiring about the course. How do they sign up? There was a follow-up message yesterday, right? See, signed up on November 17th. Follow-up message yesterday. Really grateful for this community and your wisdom and knowledge. The way I look at the charts are completely in caps different now. Finally able to stay consistently in the green. Patience was improved 10x by watching the live streams and your course. Blessings on you and your family and your work. Thank you for changing my life. Thank you for letting me know. I genuinely have no idea. I have very little idea of the things that we're doing over here, of the lives that we are affecting. It's very, very important to me. Eric, thanks for that chart over on silver. Definitely appreciated that. It's a huge asset to the community. So thank you. Bitcoin trading, 49,500, right? Everyone dialed in and focused on the most important trade that matters over there. That was Nick. Sorry about that. Nick, thank you so much. I think this is noise. The miner selling has stopped for the first time since late December. Today, they switched back to holding. This is bullish for price reversal. I think of miners, we'll talk about that in 1 second. First, let me focus in on the chart. If you look what happened over here as the miners were last holding onto Bitcoin, December 7th through the 28th, the Bitcoin definitely had a move up, right? A slight move up, or not a slight. Look at it on the chart over here. We broke out over here. We didn't need to know anything about the miners, by the way, because we were just following what we do over here. We were following this trend line. We saw the breakout, the retest, and then the resumption off, right? Conquering the markets all day long. Is it boring? Not to me. Anyway, that was a nice little move up on Bitcoin as the miners were holding. But when the miners moved to selling, Bitcoin went from 24,000 all the way up to $58,000. So I don't really think that this is something that I really care about or want to focus on. My job is just to take all of the distractions and noise and distinguish between what is signal, what's noise, and move it apart. This, in my opinion, is neither here nor there, right? However, do I like the fact that miners are now moving to holding rather than selling? Yeah, of course. Big deal, though. Now, what happens if, as we see these U.S. miners going public, what happens if they never sell at all, right? Max Kaiser, I introduced you to that video last week talking about this. What happens if these miners, these public companies, never sell their Bitcoin at all? Well, that's signal. That would become signal as we see mining moving away from the East and towards the west. That's something that I want to pay attention to. Either which way, just sharing this with you today so you see how that I am able to take in data, process it, because the whole point of all this is to teach you what I do, because then you'll be sharing charts with me like Nick shared of gold of silver over there, and it becomes this beautiful feedback loop. We're conquering the markets all day long, stronger and stronger, working together, right? So that's what we do. Listen, let's jump over to the US dollar, Japanese yen before we continue over here. Dave was sharing this yesterday. Dave has pointed out the one on the pound Japanese yen to us just a few weeks ago during a live training session. Now he's pointing out this one. I'm going to zoom out on the daily with you right over here. This is the line I added it in this morning that he's focused in on over here. I'm going to highlight it now so you can see it. I'm going to make it darker. He did note that around the dollar milkshake theory playing out, this got jumpy in this area over here. You could see that over there. Okay. So the dollar milkshake theory was real. Yeah, man. Thanks for being here. I'm so glad that you found us. This is life-changing. I'm so glad that you found us. Right? Listen, by the way, I'm so sorry for all the spammers. I'm so sorry for all the spammers. Really, they're like polluters. They're litterers, right? And listen, I will never share my phone number with you, my WhatsApp now phone number with you. I'll never solicit you for an investment or anything like that inside comments. If I'm speaking to you, I'm speaking to you here on YouTube. That's what we do over here. Please be careful. Please be careful. Please be careful. Right? So what else? US dollar, Japanese yen. You could see the line Dave is focused in on. He's saying, look, we've broken out of that. And look at that breakout. Look at that. That gives a little bit of perspective. What you're seeing is here what you're looking at on silver, right? You're seeing that massive move up, then this massively long 5-year consolidation over here. Is the dollar now breaking out, and is it this time going to be different? Interesting questions. There's a lot of room between 107 and 112. A lot of room over there. I have to say above 112, this gets a little bit easier and prettier. Is it too soon, right? Are we going to see something like that occurred on silver? Let me go ahead and just show you where we had that breakout and then a retest and another consolidation and another breakout. Could very well unfold like that. Do I think it's going to be straight up here to 120, 150? I do not. Right? Is that all possible? Yeah, it's all possible. This is an important look right over here. What's going on? It's taking a long time to play out, right? Could it unfold quickly if yields start to rise and get out of control? Yes, that's not happening right now. Could this be another false breakout above as we saw 1, 2, 3 times? It could very well be, right? Yields were just into resistance. If they now are all of a sudden, this was the peak, and then we see them start, that trade start to unwind, then we could come back down and below this trend line, right? So just helping you think through the process. And by the way, this is what we were doing on the 8-hour. Why I did not take this trade. We were hyper focused right over here as it was between these two trend lines. I want you to focus on this trend line over here, right? And then I cloned it up on the way up. Last I talked about it with you, we were in no man's land. We were consolidating here, right? It was right around this day over here at the end of January. And then came New Year's, right? And I said to you, we're either looking for a breakdown or a breakout. It broke to the upside, right? You can see the breakout, the retest, resuming off. Dave's line over here gives greater perspective, and it's very important. I just want everyone to be on the same page I'm on, right? And yeah, and that's also a big move, by the way, following the breakout over here up into the resistance. Similar to like the pound Japanese yen, right? Because since the beginning of the year, I've been focused on this trade with you, talking about a target all the way up here. Yeah, once the pound Japanese yen is able to break this yellow trend line over here, around 155, that's when this trade could start going, right? But we keyed into it all the way down over here. Dave actually added this line. This is the line Dave added during the training session, right over here. I was just minus the line on the 8-hour time frame. So Dave is really good with these long-term trend lines. It's a huge asset. Thank you, Dave. I was just focused on the same trade on the 8-hour without that trend line. The trend line added a lot to my analysis. You guys are great. You guys are great. We have 2,300 people in here. That's awesome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for spending your time. Thank you for investing in yourself. You know, really important stuff over there. So Dave, thank you for that. What's Janet Yellen's actual authority or power to affect Bitcoin? She's the U.S. Treasury Secretary. She's got a lot of power. She's got a lot of pull. There's no question about that. Does Janet Yellen understand Bitcoin enough to know that she can't come at it? Look at that. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you for your generous heart. Thank you, Lucas. Thank you, Luke, for smashing the like button over there. Thank you for getting us going over here. We're almost to 1,000 likes. Thank you, George, for everything you do. Right? So, anyway, a lot of people wondering what's going on with the GBTC premium. I don't track it or focus in on it. We spoke about, I don't know why it's negative. We spoke about, and, as more ETFs, and we just saw one launched in Canada again recently. We also have QBTC in Canada. We have proxies like MicroStrategy. Is all this going to continue to bring down the premium of GBTC? I've never focused in on the premium. I do not know how it prices. It fluctuates. I'm focused in on GBTC for the duration of the bull market. As we get to the top, I will sell. That's pound Japanese yen. That's not Bitcoin over there. So I'm not really focused on the premium or how that plays out. If right now you're seeing GBTC trading around 45, 46, do I think that as we enter the peak of the bull market, that is going to be trading around 250, 350, 450, whatever? Yeah, that's what I'm focused in on. I'm not focused on the premium at all. All right. So what else we're looking at over here? Janet Yellen, yeah. But I think that she could verbally take a tax and swipes at Bitcoin. Could the government ever make Bitcoin illegal? It doesn't seem to be headed that way. There's a ton of regulation on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is probably one of the most regulated assets across the whole world, right? So she's not, in my opinion, an attack vector against Bitcoin. This is bullish for Bitcoin. Let's take a look at this over here. We were talking about the wealth tax, a 2 cent. Well, 2 cent or 2%. There's a big difference between talking about 2% and 2 cent. Anyway, let's listen over here really quick to Warren and listen to, if I didn't know anything about the markets, I would think what she's saying makes sense, right? If I didn't know anything any better, I would say what she's saying here makes a lot of sense.
What do you think of, for example, dealing with the current structure, which is to say, to deal with the estate tax in a more meaningful way, deal with the step-up basis issue that creates a real problem, that if you could do that unto itself, maybe that would be considered a wealth tax?
So, well, you're right. We do all kinds of things that are a part of dealing with wealth. But understand, a direct wealth tax, a 2 cent wealth tax, is what yields the revenue that we need, just a straight across the board. It's the fairest, it's the most progressive, and here's the thing, it helps level the playing field just a little bit. Right now, the 99% of America, that's everybody who doesn't have wealth of $50 million or more, they paid last year about 7.2% of their total wealth in taxes. The top one.
What she's saying here anyway is her wording, it's the most progressive. What does that mean, progressive? Is progressive a good thing or a bad thing? I don't understand what, please define your words, because you're using things like 2 cent when you mean 2%. It's very, at the end, she's basically like, listen, those that are paying taxes, 99% of the population are paying basically, she said 7% of their income in taxes, right? And she said that the top, this doesn't even make sense, because the majority or over half the population in the US don't even pay any tax. So I'm confused about what she's saying. And like I said, if I didn't know any better, I would be confused. And she's saying that, that the billionaires and these ultra millionaires, right, that they're only paying 7% of all the tax generated. It doesn't make any sense to me. Take your pick, Bezos. He's paying a ton of money in tax. At the end, she's just basically like, listen to her words, because it's all crazy.
This is about just trying to level it out so everybody in America gets a chance.
Yeah, sounds good, right? So everybody in America gets a chance. They're trying to come up with revenue to fund their growing government. If you think that's good for you, you're in for a real surprise. By the way, the reason I'm focusing in on that, it's not going to pass. There's no way with the current Senate almost split that they're going to have enough support required to pass this type of legislation. But what you're hearing right now is you're hearing messages put out to influence people. And maybe it's possible, 2 years from now, if the majority is in the Senate, that they're able to pass legislation like this and they've mentally prepared the public for it. Maybe it's possible 4 years from now. Their time preference is a lot lower than yours. They're playing the long game over here, and you have to understand what is happening over there. I love Matt Odell. So is anyone planning to investigate Senator Warren's blatant attempt to pump the price of Bitcoin while in office, as she talks about that wealth tax? It's all bullish for Bitcoin. Don't forget it. Now, if they start taxing, right, could they start taxing things like GBTC and funds that are holding onto Bitcoin, not selling it? I don't know anything about that. We'll continue to see what happens. I don't think that's something we need to focus in on. This is very important as we're seeing inflation run rampant everywhere. We're talking about food inflation over here. This is the CEO of Heinz, Kraft Heinz, saying inflation is everywhere in the agricultural complex. And you're going to start seeing it repriced in everything, including macaroni and cheese and mayonnaise later this year. As the Fed is saying, there's nothing to see here, Powell. We don't see any signs of inflation. We're struggling to run it up to 2%, and we just can't do it. If you're buying groceries, if you're buying food, you know it's real. And if you're still in denial, or if you're still saying it's transitory or temporary, then you're part of the problem. No question about that. Mortgage rates. Is this something that I'm watching from afar? Look at this over here, this chart over here. You're seeing the 30-year mortgage rate coming up, rising, peaking in December and rising. Look at home purchase mortgage applications in December, peaking, coming down over there. Is that because of seasonally? Most people are not looking to move around the first of the year? Generally big moves happen either generally they happen in late spring, right? May, June. Or is this because as you're seeing mortgage rates rise, you're seeing less and less in people going ahead and looking to purchase homes? I think it's the latter. I think it's a combination of the both. I think it's something to keep focus on over here. If they lose control of the housing market, which they're trying to pump up to give everyone the illusion that everything's okay and they're doing better, this could become a problem over here if we lose the housing market this year. I'm not calling for a crash in the housing market. I'm watching it from afar. It's something that could affect the overall markets. And the question is, where is Powell? Right? So what else? This is kind of important over here. I'm not going to talk about this right now. This is Edward Snowden talking about COVID, talking about all the data that the government, the invasive new data collection powers that will last a long time after the pandemic. Sit on this for 1 second. 5 years later, coronavirus is gone. This data is still available to them. They start looking for new things, Snowden said. They already know what you're looking at on the internet. They already know where your phone is moving. Now they know where your heart rate is. What happens when they start to intermix these and apply artificial intelligence to them? It's scary. You have to be aware of what's going on around you. We'll put it all together, and we continue to put it all together. Bitcoin, as we got on, $49,000. Bitcoin, $49,000. All right. I think that's a pretty good look at the markets. We covered a lot in this short session over here. We do have 2,300 people in here, 50 minutes in, 1,000 likes. We are an autopilot doing what we need to do here, right? As it was said this morning, pushing your winners is boring. I don't think so. I think it takes hyper awareness so that we know what we need to do to push our winners, for how long we need to push them, and when our exit is. And whether or not our exit's going to be at the end of September or it's going to be into November, I have no idea, but I do know it's not going to be before the end of September. I do know as of September 21st, around that time frame, I'm going to be hyper aware with all of you, looking and following that price action, looking for that vertical move up, looking for that exhaustion phase that's going to be coming, talking about it with you each and every day so that you're aware of what I'm watching and why, helping you to go ahead to see the markets through my eyes and with my lens, helping to make you a better trader, which then has this feedback loop, helping me improve as well. I love it all. It's what we do here. We're not even close. If you're part of Conquering the Markets and you haven't seen yet the video from last Friday's training session, it was absolutely extraordinary. It was absolutely epic. You have to watch that. Watch it before this week's training session. It'll probably be on Friday again. I really love that Friday session. It was really important. And I put out the exact date that we're looking for as this parabolic phase, the bubble phase of Bitcoin begins. And we'll be watching. We'll be ready and we'll be watching. And I think that type of situational awareness is everything. You see, this was a discussion I started watching this morning over here. Pop had Breedlove. Breedlove was on the Investors Podcast. It was the first podcast that the Investors Podcast did on their weekly Bitcoin show. And it was kind of like all of your misnomers about Bitcoin. And it was fantastic. So I was looking forward to watch this video to get a little bit like pumped up about Bitcoin, right? Just for like that feel good pump up bullishness of Bitcoin. It's okay. Nevertheless, there's nothing wrong with that, right? Every once in a while, you want to get that pumped up about Bitcoin, where we go and where we're headed. But at the end of the day, I want to keep it real. I want to make sure that I'm dialed in and that I'm aware of anything that could derail our trade. Is it possible we would have to exit Bitcoin if another crisis were to develop before our exit? Or will we be looking to hedge those trades, those positions? Is it something that we would have to be talking about and dialed into? Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. So we're seeing equities right now, by the way, continuing over here. So is this no man's land for me right now? It looks bullish on the breakout again over here. Not only the breakout, the retest resuming off now, but look what happened since we last looked at it early in the session. Because as we looked at that early in the session, price was not yet making that higher high. I said it's close, it's not close. And I drew in that resistance line. You see how price so far peaked into that resistance line? It's real. It's changing lives. And I'm so glad to share it with all of you. It's Taco Tuesday, though. So we're going to have a little bit of fun over here. It's Taco Tuesday. We got over here Head Snack. Bringing it. There we go. We got Head Snack. I'm going to pull up.
Markets, analyzing the charts, hitting projected targets within the margin. Find the flow, sip the matcha, and wait for the waves to come in with lobsters. The kind-hearted Jordan Fosters, working smarter, not harder to move the markers. On his way to conquer, trading and investing, drinking the coffee while reflecting on the blessing. The markets are not crashing, the prices might be slashing, just to pretend they're in fashion. Take a like button, comments, and smash it. Boom, boom, Jordan in the room, grab the bull by the horns and to the moon. Flow from the plateau, make the play. Boom, boom, it's a taco day.
It's a taco day. It's a taco day.
Oh no, you guys, I crushed it and you missed it. I just went off on the tangents of all tangents and you missed it. Wow. That's not the first time I've done that. Wow, I was totally crushing it. I'm going to go ahead and do that over. It's not going to be as good, but it was so important. It was so important. I'm going to share it with all of you, right? That is classic Jordan. It's just happens all the time, right? So yeah, someone asked, did I take a, that's a mic drop with no sound happening. Did I take a sip this whole time of anything? No, I don't. I keep going, fresh and flowing, right? I saw while we were watching, by the way, this awesome video by Head Snack. Please, I went ahead and I sent this link in the description below. If you have a second, go ahead and smash the like button on this video, leave a comment, share some love with Head Snack, who did this out of love. He did this on his own to create this for the community. Go ahead and give a little bit of love back. I saw a comment while that video was playing, and it was over here, I think, while I was talking about, or in relation to this video over here, when I said I wanted to get some of that bullishness flowing. I like that from time. And the comment was like confirmation bias. This is what I want to focus in with you, confirmation bias. From my experience, from my observations, and I am by any means not even close to being infallible, but at the same time, I do have a long history of making really good observations, right? I'm able to see what's going on. Listen, from my experience, those that like bring up confirmation bias, they've been programmed. They've been programmed, you know, whether it's no different than conspiracy theory. You all remember after the assassination of President JFK, the CIA, they put out the whole conspiracy theory thing there because they didn't want anyone asking any questions about what really happened, right? It's confirmation bias. Same thing. The people that use it in the context they use it, right? Probably, right? New York Times reader, New York Times yesterday telling us, we looked at in the show, listen, do not ask any questions. Do not go down a rabbit hole. What's your source, right? The same people who are always like, well, what's your source? You could confront them with a truth, an absolute universal truth, and they'll be like, what's your source, right? What is that? People that, what's your source, confirmation bias, these type of people, they've been programmed, and they're programming you not to be able to think for yourself. If certain people are able to distinguish that there's a 4-year cycle in Bitcoin, which includes a bull market phase, a bear market phase, and then a capitulation bottom and accumulation phase, that's not confirmation bias. Is that affirmation bias? Maybe. Or is there anything wrong with someone else sharing your same opinion? Does that make it wrong because other people are able to see something? I don't think so, right? So either which way, part of what we do here is like microdosing those red pills from time to time. It all starts with the Money Masters. If you haven't seen the documentary yet, watch the Money Masters. It's crucial to understand money. The greatest red pill of them all is money. Who controls it? How it's created? You have to understand these things. It's what we do, and it's what we do over here. Everyone, have a beautiful day. Thanks for sharing this time with me. I'll see you all tomorrow. Let's go out with some tunes. This track is called Honeymoon, the instrumental version. I just shared the link with you right over here. Beautiful, beautiful song. We love it. I love it. It really is special. It really helps me remember all of everything that we've shared together. Everything that we shared together. And it just brings all of those feelings back, all those emotions back. It's beautiful. It really just makes me like see the goodness in life, the goodness in what we share together. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for each and every one of you. Have a beautiful, beautiful day, everyone. Whether or not we have an update in the afternoon, well, I don't know. We'll see what happens, but definitely we'll be here again tomorrow morning. Everyone have a beautiful day. Heath, thank you, brother. I'll talk to you soon.